Hey, what's up? Iron Tamer Dave Whitley here. I want to talk to you about pressing a little bit today, specifically one arm pressing, more specifically kettlebell pressing. We're going to use the Kettlebell Kings kettlebells today to do this. They're fantastic pieces of gear. Thank you guys so much for making such high quality equipment. For years I've been talking about something called a press continuum, and the two ends of that continuum are the strict press, which many people are familiar with. Strict press is body remains still from the rack position. The only thing that moves is the weight by way of the arm. The other end of that continuum is the bent press, where we start from a rack position. The weight remains relatively stationary. The body moves into a position before standing up. In between those two, we have this nebulous ground. And rather than thinking of it as A and B, let's think about it in degrees on a continuum. From the strict press going toward the bent press, we pass through a couple of different places. One of them is a side press. Now, if we can define the strict one-arm press as the body is still and the weight moves, and the bent press as the weight is still and the body moves, the side press happens in that middle ground where both the weight and the body move at the same time, but paradoxically they move in opposite directions to get to the same place. So what that will look like is as the weight goes up, I lean away from it, and eventually the arm is straight and we stand up from there. This is misunderstood, and if it's taught at all, it's taught poorly by almost everyone. So I think that it is something that warrants a little bit of study. Then the other close cousin that happens there is what Bud Jeffries was the first person I heard to use this term, calls the natural press. And the natural press allows for a little bit looser style. It allows for a little bit of leg drive. It allows for a little bit of hip kick. Essentially what my interpretation of the natural press means is that your body moves in the way that your body is strongest in order to get the weight overhead. I believe that a natural press that I do will not look the same as a natural press that someone else who has different limb lengths, torso length, all of that stuff does. Again, I got that that name and sort of that concept from Bud Jeffries, and you could potentially have the SWAT team from the form police come battering down your door to tell you how horrible your form is if they think that you're attempting to do a strict military press, or if they think that you're attempting to do a bent press and you wind up in the natural press. Or even if they think you're doing a side press, they're going to tell you no. But the thing about the form police is most of them aren't strong, and they know very well a few things, and they see something that doesn't fit into their paradigm of what those few things are and what they should be. And if it doesn't match up with that paradigm, then of course it must be wrong. But I'm here to tell you that it's not wrong. And if you don't believe me, ask Bud. Bud will tell you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate the natural press and do a few reps loaded here in just a second. So for me, this would be where I would be in a strict press, and my groove would be something like that. My side press would be a little more weight on this leg under here, and I would lean away from it. This leg actually wants to flex a little bit when I do a side press, which is it's fine. Some people, again, would tell you not to do that, but it doesn't matter that much. A bent press, hips flex, knees flex, elbow extends. For my position on the natural press, I'm going to be somewhere between that side press and bent press position. So I'm looking to make a straight line from the weight through the elbow to the hip down to the foot. And then what I'm actually going to do is give a little bit of hip kick like this. That gets the weight started moving. As it moves up, my body moves away from it, just like a side press, and I allow my legs to bend a little bit, just like a bent press, and eventually it'll lock out somewhere like this. And I'm perfectly fine with calling this a completed rep and bringing it back down. I've seen Bud do it that way. I've seen, there's a video on YouTube of Paul Anderson doing it with a 300-pound dumbbell that's about 5 feet long. Magnificent lift. Don't go heavy on it at first because it is probably a position that you aren't accustomed to in the shoulder. But once you get here, if you want to stand up with it, by all means. You can get a little bit of leg drive. It's sort of like all of the best elements of the bent press, the strict press, the jerk, and the push press, and the side press all reside in this natural press. So it's take all of the strongest stuff from the various different ways you can put weight overhead in a pressing type category, put them all together. So for me, it'll look like this. What it allows you to do is to move a substantial amount of weight, more than you can strict press. And if your technique is off on the bent press, and you're not able to get into those positions and load them effectively yet because you haven't worked on it long enough, this allows you to put a lot of weight overhead and build confidence and build strength in that range of motion. So again, we call it natural press. Thanks again for the outstanding equipment, everyone at Kettlebell Kings, and let me know if you have questions. Find me on Facebook, Iron Tamer Dave Whitley, Instagram, Iron Tamer, Twitter, Iron Tamer. Let me know if I can help you.